Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Papercoy, and you're confused.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
I think we just illustrated what we need to do, which is we need to stay calm under stressful situations. And I know that Mr. Magazine, probably going to share some level of this over on the live show. If you haven't checked the live shows out, definitely do, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. Or you can check it out on the replay. Now, you had a hectic day the other day, and a lot was going wrong. Why don't you go a quick synopsis of what was going wrong?
Yeah, so my manager's out right now, so I have to have someone kind of take over his role. We can say he's an assistant manager at this point because he's one of the few people that knows how to print. So to me, it's very valuable. He can pull, he can pack, he can print. So he does problems. So he really
Can he list?
He can list as well.
There you go.
So he basically can fill my manager's shoes. Maybe not as well, but he's he's
Yeah,
new.
right.
But
A fill-in, yeah.
Yeah. So that's stressor number one. No manager, but he's kicking in. 4 degrees out, so everyone's freezing. The heater's working fine. My one employee's cold. He plugs in a regular heater, trips the breaker, lights flicker, and then moments later, no internet.
Oh.
So it seems that the two should be related because of timing.
Yeah, I would think so.
They turn the breaker back on, they unplug the heater, and the internet's not coming back on.
Did it blow out the router? Or?
It didn't blow it out, but something happened where it wasn't working at all. So,
right.
And this was earlier in the day, like 12, 1 o'clock. This was yesterday. So Evan's flipping. What are we gonna do? I go, well, he called me because I was at the shop. Dave called, and I said, listen, just plenty of stuff to do. Don't send people home unless they want to go home. I said they can organize, they can combine boxes, they can scan pictures for tomorrow. Sit down and scan and take 100 pictures. Guess what? Now you're going to list more because it's already done. We had a couple employees end up going home, but he was getting nervous because there were problems and people weren't listening to him because he's not the manager, and so he was getting all stressed out. I go, listen, there's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. Now if this happened to me years ago with the internet, I used to flip out. I used to yell at Spectrum or Time Warner or whatever. Now you can't really, doesn't solve anything by getting nervous and upset. So I just said, hey, calm down, take a breather, take a 5-minute break. Everything will be fine. Have someone call up. So they sent the guy down. He was there like 2 or 3 hours, messing around with new modems. Now we were supposed to get an upgrade anyways.
Right.
So, but I guess it wasn't working. It was working. It wasn't working. Then finally they said by 5 p.m. they were closing, but it was working, but then it stopped at 5. I said, well, so I think it was right before 5. So they called up or something, and they said, listen, you got to come back in the morning. So they, for whatever reason, when we used to reschedule, it was like 2, 3, 4, 5 days. So they came this morning, a couple hours later, they got it working. And I just sat down and I go, listen, see, everything worked out fine. I go, it's not as fast as we want right now, but at least we have internet. We can print orders, continue day-to-day business. Let's just be happy and do what we got to do. And I kept him under control, and because normally he would get stressed out, I got to go home, and he can't handle that. So I just sat down, calmed him down, and he was good to go. The show must go on, but there's nothing you can do about it. So getting nervous and upset and mad at this point in time, I've learned enough where just deal with it. Did this ever happen to you? I don't think so. You've never been stressed out before, have you?
No, never. Not ever. It kind of ties into something that I was thinking the other day, which is slow down, which kind of ties into that as well, because I had a situation where I wasn't able to find something that wasn't in the box where it was supposed to be, and then you start looking at the box around it. Did I miscode it? What was going on? And I found it. It didn't take that long to find, but I said, I actually, now that I'm retired, I do have the luxury, not that I want to do so, not that I want to purposely make mistakes to waste time, but I can actually make sure that I'm doing everything right. And I had another situation where I did find something, and I made a conscious note to myself that I am taking these magazines out of this box to make this box easier to go through to find what I need. Let me find it. I'm not going to rush through. I'm going to find it. And I've got to slow down and remember to put those magazines back in that box. And sure enough, I did.
Yeah.
But how many times have you had an employee or whatever, or I've done it myself, where you're in a hurry, you take something out of the box, you put it off to the side, and then you come back a day later and something's sitting off to the side. You don't have any idea where it is. And you either leave it sitting on top of the box going, well, I'll remember what those 4 items are,
Yeah.
or you got to take it, you got to go, you have to search on it, you have to figure out what box it goes in, you have to put it back in the right box. You end up not saving any time.
Right.
Because you ended up wasting 5 minutes when if you just had slowed down in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And-
we find things all over the warehouse. On the top of a ladder, we'll find an order. Inside a box, we'll find orders. Sometimes it's the next day. Sometimes it's months later, and you can't do anything about it. But it is what it is, and it's funny. I'd love to talk to someone with a similar size company that sells online like me, because for 20 years, I don't know how many dozens of employees we've had. The people making mistakes 10, 15 years ago are making the same mistakes with the employees now. It's just the way that,
different people making the same
different people
mistakes.
making the same mistakes. It's just
Right.
They number the box wrong, or they're looking in the wrong box, or they list something wrong with the wrong code. It's just it's just weird. No matter who it is, same things are happening. Or it's January 1st, 2025, and they put the 24 on it or something.
Right.
And it just happens. But yeah, I'd love to talk to someone else with similar size, amount of employees, eBay and Amazon, and they must be having the same issues. Why would it just be me having the same issues with different employees for 20 years?
Right. Yeah, no, and definitely I find myself doing a lot of things slower during the day. But I also find myself, there are times, a number of times, where I sit there and I go, and I'm conscious about it. I'm putting that back in the box. I am doing this. I am just going to bring this upstairs now. I'm going to, whereas because I used to have the day job, I would try to rush the stuff in around moments of the day job or just before I start the day job or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you sit there and you look at it and you go, well, I'm moving slower now, but I might not actually be losing anything in the end.
Yeah.
Because I'm not making the mistakes that I was before.
Right,
Not that I made a lot of mistakes, but still, things are much better organized now because I can take the time to do it right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, not everybody has that ability. I mean, let's think about it. I'm a one-man band. Let's say that, right now it's whatever time, 7 o'clock right now. Say I've got a flight at 8:45 and I literally have to leave at 7:15.
Right.
And I just got 3 orders that I want to get out, hand to you right now, to get out before I go. My other choice is wait 4 days when I get home to send them out. Well, I would much rather get them sent out. You have to rush in those instances. There are instances, because it's not like I can say, I'm going to slowly move up the stairs and slowly find this and I missed my plane.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So there are times where you do have to speed things up. There just is. But otherwise, if you have the ability to slow it down, and much like he was saying there with the stress as well, take a moment, breathe in, breathe out. Getting upset, rushing through things isn't going to help you. Getting upset, and we all do it, and there are times when you want to scream at eBay when you have them on the phone, or the internet provider when you have them on the phone or whatever. This is the 3rd time you've come out.
Right.
You can't do your job. You gotta bite your tongue, and a lot of times that's one of the most difficult things. And I think a lot of that does come with age. I think when you're younger, you're a little more hot-headed. I think when you're older, you understand that, hey, the CSR you're yelling at is probably has nothing to do with it.
Right.
The guy coming out to fix it probably has nothing at all to do with it.
Yep.
It's not his fault that your modem, that the part for your modem is not on his truck because you have an older modem.
Yeah.
What can you do about it? He's got to do what he's got to do. Now, when the office tells you, we'll get out, we'll reschedule you for 2 weeks, then you have a right to get angry.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
this is my livelihood. I can't wait 2 weeks.
Right.
But as long as they are being as best as they can be too within that, don't get angry, don't get upset.
Exactly.
Everything can stress you out greatly if you allow it to do so. But if you take a moment, you step back, you realize that, as they say, don't sweat the small things, and it's all small things, or whatever that saying is absolutely true. No doubt whatsoever about that. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. I'm glad Mr. Magazine actually did come up with this topic because I was thinking the other day, it's been a while since we've done an uplifting one. I think this is an uplifting type video.
Sure.
Just to let you know, you're not alone when you're doing this. This too shall pass. Sit back, take a deep breath, let it all unwind, and it'll all work out for you. And hopefully that helps you a little bit. If you hit the like button, that would help us a little bit. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.